Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Grand Tactician, the Civil War, a new game that is in early access by Oliver Keppelmuller, and which looks at the American Civil War from both a strategic and a tactical perspective. This is episode number 4 of my Let's Play series in this game, and in our last episode we fought kind of felt like a seal clubbing affair out in Missouri. Between the Army of the Mississippi under the Department of the West under Major General William Harney, who defeated the Missouri State Guard largely just by letting the Missouri State Guard sit out of range while we pelted them with longer range rifles. It was not an even fight, and I'm okay with that. We crushed them. We've also already won one battle in Virginia, a minor affair, about 1,000 casualties, where we pushed the Confederates out of Alexandria and established ourselves on the southern bank of the Potomac River. We have since built a supply depot down there, and we are about to begin the advance on the Confederates once again. In the intervening time, I did do a little bit of army management since our last episode, so my plan this turn is to push on the Confederate Army of the Potomac at Manassas Junction, where they currently have about 4,000 troops, I think, if that intelligence is correct. Looks like they've got about 3,800 troops, but then they also have the Army of the Shenandoah, which is about 12,000 troops, just shy of 12,000 just to the west. So all told, between the two, if they do come together, they'll have about 15,000 soldiers. Currently, the Army of Northeastern Virginia under Major General Irvin McDowell is 24,032 men strong, with an additional 4,000 men being raised. That's because I made some quick changes in the intervening time, so I reorganized the army entirely. Previously, it was 3 divisions with all of the units sort of built under that. I decided to keep the 3-division structure for the infantry under Tyler, Hunter, and Runyon, but I moved all of the supporting assets, so the artillery, we have 4 batteries of that, into a new division called the Artillery Reserve under Brigadier General Henry Hunt, who historically was the commander of the Union's reserve artillery during General McClellan's time in command of the army, and even commanding that force, although I don't know if it was like a formally organized force, during the Battle of Gettysburg, famously helping to throw back Pickett's charge. So we set up a division of 4 batteries of artillery. We also set up a division of cavalry under Brigadier General Edwin Sumner, who was a colonel at the start of the war, one of the highest ranking individuals in the army. He became a corps commander historically, commanding the 2nd Corps, the vaunted 2nd Corps, through Antietam, where it kind of got ravaged, and he was clearly, I actually think it was through, he became a wing commander, I think, at Fredericksburg, but then was removed from command shortly thereafter. And ended up passing away not that long after, because he's pretty old to be in command. Anyway, he's commanding the cavalry division, or corps. I guess technically it's a division, with 2 brigades under him, Palmer and John Buford, as well as a newly raised cavalry brigade under Charles P. Stone. So let's actually rename this division. So we're going to rename this division the Cavalry Division. Hunt is the Artillery Reserve, and then we have the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd divisions of infantry. This shouldn't read militia. All right. So we have the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd infantry divisions. Each of these infantry divisions, well, actually, the 1st division has 5 brigades. The 2nd and 3rd divisions have 4 brigades of infantry. I have also decided to raise 2 new brigades under each of these divisions. So the ending structure will be 3 divisions of 5 brigades each, and then a artillery division with 5 batteries, and a cavalry division with 3 brigades. That's going to be the Army of Northeastern Virginia, but we're going to engage before these additional troops come online. We're going to begin sending them out right away. Meanwhile, in the Valley, we have the Department of Pennsylvania under command of Major General Robert Patterson. They currently have 10,300 men, with about another 1,000 still being recruited. They're guarding the bridge at Front Royal over the Harper's Ferry River. Right, is this the Harper's Ferry River? Is this the Susquehanna? I'm not really sure what river this is. In any event, they're guarding the western retreat of the Confederate Army, so they can't move west. And Also, potentially, if the army of the Northwest tries to move east behind us, they'll guard that flank also, and presumably they'll move south down the valley as the army of the Northeastern Virginia moves south as well. One other thing I'm doing, and this probably won't matter all that much, but we have a single brigade of troops that are going to move down this peninsula here to take Anock and Drummondtown, two Confederate positions here on this peninsula in Virginia. And currently we've got a couple of squadrons of naval vessels off the coast of the Chesapeake trying to prevent more bombardments of sort of northern towns up the river. Other information, apparently, despite the fact that I'm raising a bunch of new troops, the Confederates have more troops than us, at least at this stage. The intelligence is saying they have 53,000 troops. If that is accurate, a huge portion of that is down here in South Carolina. We have an intel report saying there's 22,314 soldiers and 54 guns in the South Carolina State Militia. Not sure if that's possible or not. And then there's also Hampton's division, which has another 10,000 men, only about 5,000 currently in service, and 30 guns being raised near Richmond, Virginia. So even if they bring those 10,000 troops up, that'll get them to about 25,000. So that would be about an even fight. I'd still feel confident in that. But if the South Carolina militia come up, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be the main focus of this turn. McClellan withdrew from northwestern Virginia because he was starving. I'm ordering him back to Wheeling, where he's building a supply depot. And then we also are going to continue the advance in Missouri, although I don't know if we'll have another fight there or not. And that's the situation that we find ourselves in. One other thing we need to do, policies. So we did complete the Militia Act, which is 12-month recruits. So all those new troops I raised are on 12-month contracts. That means we're not researching any policies at the moment. Money is clearly a major issue. We're negative $57 million in the red. So I'm going to go ahead and do the print notes option, which is going to give us $50 million per year, which, you know, equates out to what, like just over 4 million a month, which still doesn't get us anywhere close to balanced, but it basically is going to drive inflation, but it'll give us more cash. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It does reduce the wealth by 10%, which people won't like, but you know, whatever, it's worth it. We need the cash. And then I think we're also going to do the Tariff Act, which will actually screw the print notes. Let's do the Tariff Act. It's going to piss the Europeans off. But one thing I noticed was that British intervention has dropped from 30% to 20%. We've won 4 battles. So the British aren't super keen to jump into a war that the Confederates are clearly losing at the moment. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then I think we'll also simultaneously research Breadbasket, which is going to strengthen agriculture in the North, which will also counteract the negative opinion of the Europeans for us for the Tariff Act, and might actually end up generating more revenue. So it's going to be 27 days on the Breadbasket, 47 days on the Tariff Act, because we're doing 2 policies at once. They're going to go ahead and sort of stack on each other. Actually, now it says 58 and 46. I thought it said... whatever. I'm okay with that. Although, maybe it's better not to do that, because, let's see, if I do this by itself, it's 27, and this is 21, so it'd be 48 days combined. I guess the difference is you get 2 at the same time, but I guess it makes more sense to just go with the Tariff Act first. I'm assuming we're going to keep winning victories. So we'll do that. The economy is not all that healthy right now because we're so much in debt. I'm hoping the economy starts to pick up a little bit, though, as the impact of the South leaving the Union is sort of minimized or negated over time. With that being said, let's go ahead and issue orders for the Army of Northeastern Virginia to move on Manassas Junction and see if we can engage the Confederates there. Either just the Army of the Potomac and crush them, outnumbering them, you know, better than 8-1, or whether we will face the Army of the Shenandoah as well. It is May 19th, and we're going to go ahead and unpause the clock. It's going to take about 2 hours to get those orders to the Army. They're going to start marching immediately. There is a supply depot here, so we should be in supply as we advance south. You can see the disabled is the number of sick. If you do forced marches and things like that, that can accelerate sort of how many disabled troops you have. Army of the Shenandoah. Oh, nope, they're withdrawing. West. Where are they going? Are they going to try and move in behind me and flank me? No, not really. All right, our supplies for Patterson are a problem. I don't want to move these guys. He's not in great supply, but I would like someone to deal with the Army of the Potomac, which is up here north. We taken Manassas yet? Yeah, we did. Let's go engage the Army of the Shenandoah then. They're the larger enemy force. We also have a depot at Manassas, so I'm assuming that gets us into supply. At least the Army of the Potomac is. Okay, so we've got an engagement. I don't know where we're fighting. Looks like these two armies in theory are in supporting distance of each other. Same for the Confederates though, so we've got both of our armies, the Department of Pennsylvania and the Army of the Potomac can both fight together. Or sorry, Army of Northeastern Virginia. 32,000 men total. About 2,000 I believe are currently disabled. And 55 guns. The enemy is about 14,000 men. Robert Patterson, I guess, would be the commanding general because reasons, and then Joseph E. Johnston for the Confederates. Yeah, let's go ahead and fight this thing. I didn't really restructure the Department of Pennsylvania all that much. So Patterson, I suppose, is the field commander. I think one thing that would be useful is if the radius of contact was reduced a bit, because like these guys are on opposite ends of the state almost, and we're ending up in a battle. So what do we have here? Wait, who's on the... Are we on the defensive? Army's near Leesburg, Virginia. Army prepared for battle. It's going to be the Manassas map again. Strength of 0 men and 0 guns. The enemy is green and morale is reported to be broken. Okay. These guys are arriving 7 something. I can't really read that. Okay. All right, whatever. Where am I deploying? I'm kind of confused here. Oh, we're down here in the south. God, I hate the rotation in these battles. So it looks like we're on the defensive. At least we're on the southern part of the map. Okay. So let's go ahead and put the 2nd Division under William Kelm up here on this hill. I'm going to kind of take a little bit more of a aggressive management of my troops here. I'm going to put these guys in this. Oh, I can't put them in the wood line. It's out of deployment radius. Actually, there's some nice fences here, so maybe we sit behind these fences. Although that'll give the enemy the wood line, which I don't like the idea of doing that. So maybe we'll deploy them in the woods anyway, despite the potential advantage of the fences. All right, there's Patterson. Well, I can't deploy up here. No. All right, let's just leave them back here. Can we put them in column formation? Not attack columns. Marching columns. There. So I think what we'll do, and this is kind of maybe more of a revert. I can't really, what's the topography here? Put them, these fence lines feel like they'd be a real great defensive position. I think we're on the defensive here. Yeah, we are. Okay. All right, so we'll end the deployment phase now. No. I want you to change your formation, dummies. Okay, they're going to deploy along there. And I guess the 1st Division's going to deploy up here in this wood. I don't know that we have any artillery, or not much. So we got 1 battery here. Looks like just 1 battery of artillery. Probably want to put it in this wooded terrain here. So technically it's a Battle of Leesburg, but we're fighting it on the Manassas map. One thing that's a little weird is how like loud the music is on the main screen, and then you get into the battles and it's just all quiet. There are sound effects you can hear for the units moving, but it's very quiet. All right, so we're moving them into line. Gonna deploy these brigades, I guess, one at a time. Not quite the way I wanted to deploy them there. I hate the way those fences break up your formation, huh? Actually, let's do this. Let's deploy them to the fence line further ahead. Can we just do this? All right. These guys are going to deploy like that. I think this division will deploy up in the woods on that hill. And the artillery can deploy also on this hill. I don't know where the Rebs are going to be, but I'm hoping they give us a little bit of time to get into position. The defensive objective, I mean, we're defending a spot that's not an objective, I guess. This is the only objective I see. So the Rebs are probably going to push near Island Ford. We could push further forward. There is a taller hill over here, but it's a bald hill. But what might actually make more sense is to deploy this brigade to this fence further forward, just because with our position on this hill, I think it's going to make more sense to use that more advanced fence as a defensive position. And then these guys are kind of be a reserve, I guess. The 3rd Brigade down here, or Wincup's Brigade. Deploy them a little bit more. We'll deploy the artillery on the southern end of this hill, just because if they are going to come up this ford, then that'll be a nice location to be. Why is that commander not moving? Oh, this is an objective 2, Newmarket back here. They could also come down this road and try and flank us to the north, so we'll have to be mindful of that. Let's actually throw 1 brigade up here. Why is this division still in? They should be in line formation. The order says line. Okay. All right, so we're moving up this hill. I'm not sure where the Rebs are going to come from. I guess we'll find out. We'll wait in position for a while. It's 7 in the morning, so we've got a lot of daylight. Are those the only objectives, though? Newmarket and then Island Ford? It looks like it. I think I can actually see where the objectives are. There's 4 objectives. AI objective, which is, I guess, the movement spot onto the map. Newmarket and Sudley Road way down here to the south, and then Island Ford up there to the north. Okay. Either way, I'm trying to find a good defensive position on this map. So you can see these guys are mostly behind this fence line here. I don't get why. All right, I spend the next few minutes deploying my troops, so I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead here a little bit because there's not a lot going on, and we haven't found the enemy yet. No indication of where the rebels are. Oh shit, we've got our whole other army showing up here. So we've got the Army of the Potomac arriving on the field, or the Army of, not the Potomac, the Army of Northeastern Virginia, I guess. 24,000 troops. Well, where are they gonna go? I guess just deploy them out here. Deploy them on this open plain in all their full grandeur. Where the devil are the Rebs? McDowell arrives. My corps is ready to join the battle according to your orders with 24,812 men, hereof 2,226 cavalry and 45 guns. Oh, there they are. There's the Rebs. Where are they going? They're not going to try and attack me? Oh, man, we could get in behind them and destroy them. I guess they're going for Island Ford. It'd be great if they knew to try and attack the troops to their front, huh? But yeah, I'm going to swing McDowell's corps behind them. So if they're driven back, then we can bag the lot of them. So they're taking the objective down here. Now it's a meeting engagement. So it's converted from an attack to a meeting engagement. There's 3 rebel brigades down here. We'll let McDowell get into place. Are we shooting at him? At Ewell's brigade? Where's our artillery? You'd think the guns would be in action, but maybe they didn't have a line of sight down there. So we'll shift them south. If they want to attack my southern division, I'm okay with that. Just give me the time for McDowell to get into position here. So 3 brigades of Rebs are on my southern flank. They've put some troops into skirmisher, but they don't appear to be trying to attack me. Moving Doubleday's artillery down. It'll be interesting to see if the Shenandoah army arrives, because it did say Johnston is in command. That would be Shenandoah, right? Because Bugard is, or PGT, Pierre is in command of Cox forces, right? Are you guys limbered up still? No? You're just not going to shoot? Are they not in line of sight or something? All right, move your battery down here then. They are unlimbered, right? They look like it. There we go. They were, I think they were limbered. I'm very confused about these formations, by the way. we go. Looks like they're ramming at least. They're gonna fire. There we go. And the battle's first shots have been opened on the Rebs. All right, Hunt's artillery reserve is almost going to come up behind him. Sumner's cavalry sweep up to the north, I think, toward Ball's Ford. Hunter's division can cover Lewis and Ball's Ford if they retreat. And then I think Tyler's division is good to move forward on the Rebs from the rear. We'll try and catch them while we bombard them and burn most of our ammo in this battery, probably. Maybe fire on the brigade or the division or the legion, I guess, rather than the skirmishers. Feels like you're wasting your ammo if you're firing on the skirmishers. Jones's brigade looks like it's already ready to retreat. Move this artillery into the rear of the enemy. And maybe we can bombard them. Catch them on two sides. The AI is so passive right now. Tyler's division guard that ford. Hunter's division guard this ford. Runyon's division can come down here and guard this ford. Okay, the enemy is moving against my guns by the looks of it. Or maybe not. They're caught with guns on two sides. Are they in range? I don't think they're in rifle range. Okay. No losses for my artillery here. Meanwhile, we've got 4 batteries of artillery in action here. They're going to try and escape to the south, I guess. All right, whatever. Advance some of my troops. Pin these guys. Don't just let them run. Tyler, you come up. Stop marching north. There's no reason to do that. Cross at Island Ford. Your troops are the closest. Hunter can guard those northern fords by himself. They do have an escape route to the south, in theory. Skirmishers are engaging here. Okay. We're just gonna pound these guys in the flank, I guess. D.R. Jones's brigade is blinking red. They don't even want to fight. It's an artillery duel, lads. Let's speed things up. Any sign of more Rebs coming yet? No? They're gonna retreat south, aren't they? McDowell, you should really be closer to the rest of your troops. Let's go ahead and... Can I detach you? We'll do that. We'll detach Tyler. Or sorry, Hunter. They're going to form a new position, a new line here in the south, which I guess I'll just assault frontally. Let's go ahead and send this, what division is down here? 2nd Division. Where are they withdrawing to anyway? They're going for this other objective. It's just the way the AI is coded. It seems like they run from objective to objective, magical hill to magical hill. And I don't know that that's terribly interesting from a play style perspective, but hey, let's go ahead and chase them. I guess I got Sumner's cavalry. I can go ahead and send them down there. They'll be fast, right? I mean, it says we're on the defensive, but we're obviously not, unless there's more rebs coming that we haven't spotted, which is certainly possible. Oh, it's saying Johnson's troops have arrived. Okay, so that could be 12,000 Confederate reinforcements. In that case, let's bring Hunter across the river to join the other group. Sumner's already being ordered that direction. 3rd Division on Runyon, go down this way. Hunter, get your artillery somewhere. I guess up here on this hill. So we've split the rebs in 2. I think we broke them with just cavalry. Okay, they're going to be out of like effective command radius, so just go down there and attack. Sherman, you try and engage. Try to head them off. I don't know where they're running to. Meanwhile, I'm trying to concentrate the rest of my force here on near New Market to defend that position there. Oh, it's almost nighttime. Okay. So it's... All right, so our troops are in contact down here in the south. Kind of stacked up in a bad position with 2 enemy brigades. We're coming down a road. We're outflanked in theory. We're all stacked up and not able to use our manpower advantage. So this is actually a smart, I guess, deployment by the AI and rebs. Oh shit, they're coming from behind? Oh no. They're coming in. This is where Johnson's troops are coming in behind. We need to get troops up on that fence line quick. They're coming. We've got dust clouds up here, which is pretty cool actually from the approaching troops. Go engage the fucks before they get completely unlimbered. Well, the rebs are split in 2, but a good deal of our troops are off in the south chasing these guys. You know, the other troops are coming up behind us. Feud. This commander's unit or hierarchy acts as his own initiative without orders. So William Kem has a feud with one of the commanders underneath. Okay. I mean, I'll give the AI credit here. I was kind of bitching and moaning, but like where they fell back to, that's a sound move, I think. We've only been able to get 1 brigade so far in on the firing line. We're moving 2 more in, but this is a relatively even fight, I think. So, meanwhile, Johnson's coming from behind. You can see Stuart's cavalry's coming up. It also looks like Jackson's brigade is coming up. We've driven back, or at least are forcing their artillery to pull back. Where's the rest of my army? I'm so spread out right now. McDowell's like off here doing his own thing. Hunter, bring your artillery up this way. All right, so we're forming up. I got to imagine it's almost going to be nightfall. But we are driving those enemy artillery pieces back. Are they losing casualties or taking casualties? Not really. We'll keep pushing, boys, because you're just going to eat canister if you don't. I'm wondering if the firing is less effective because it's dark out. Because right now, it doesn't seem to be too effective. No one's losing any casualties. More troops coming down that road. What time's night? Does it tell me? 6:40 in May. All right, our first volleys are ringing out. Bring in reserves. God, we're so spread out. Sherman must outrange these guys because he's just blazing away, but doesn't seem to be taking fire. Meanwhile, Ewell's brigade's getting shot up. So this is, again, it's some of these guys are firing over here. Jones's brigade, it looks like there was some smoke coming off them, but the Rebs just don't have the intelligence to close the range. If you're being shot at, you either close the range or withdraw. Don't be dumb and just take fire. I mean, I'm not going to complain that we're ripping apart enemy brigades for free, but what I'll say is a good deployment by the AI. Terrible execution so far in terms of the actual fight. These guys are shooting though. We've taken 29 casualties there and 105 in wind cups. I guess this is why you give your men Springfield rifled muskets. All right, meanwhile, what's happening in the north? So we're engaging this enemy artillery, 3 casualties for them. We've got 4 more brigades moving north. We've also got the reserve artillery moving in. Are these Rebs not limbering? I'm kind of confused. All right, let's start redeployment. Okay, I badly need to redeploy my troops because they're a mess. So let's go ahead and see if we can deploy Hunter's division along this fence line here, I think. Curious to see what the AI does, honestly. Keep them in reserve. No, don't do that. Stay behind the fence. All right, do this. Move your guys over here. Why are they still in front of the fence? Okay, well, it looks like we can actually deploy up this way, right? Yeah, so let's do this. Let's deploy these guys in the woods. I don't know. What's better in this game, woods or fences? We're going to deploy Caldwell's Division North. Okay. So Tyler's division's a little bit mixed up. Caldwell's division is going to be in the north. Hunt's division, I guess we'll just set the artillery up in this field. They should be good to fire over the heads of the defender, I think. Can we... Okay, I don't really know what the line of sight is there for everybody. You'd think McDowell would move north to be part of that fight. Sumner's cavalry division, we'll go put him down here in the open. We'll straighten out Keam's division. I'll put Tyler's division down here. Okay, so I think that's going to do it. We do have one more division. We have Runyon's division, which I'll put in reserve over here. Or maybe we put it to the north. I'll put it in reserve. All right, so our armies are all the fuck over the place. Put these guys on Henry House Hill. Okay. See how the next day starts. 6 in the morning. The Rebs don't seem to have redeployed at all. Sumner, go take that objective. Keam Advancer Division. A lot of bad cohesion because of all the creeks and rivers and stuff. Flames are still on the defensive. Meanwhile, the morning is starting off with a whole bunch of infantry fighting here against Rebs. I'm going to deploy Runyon's division on this fence line to the south in case we get pushed back out of our position here. This is a pretty big fight. It's a bit of a mess. Second division's going to bear the brunt of this fighting, I think. Only got about 5,700 men. If he comes down with all 12,000 of his troops. Still got another brigade coming up here, Greg and... Meanwhile, our artillery should help a bit in this more open terrain. I like how the enemy leads with skirmishers. It's nice to see. Let's move our artillery forward a little bit closer to the fighting. Some of these batteries don't appear to be engaged. Oh shit. First Brigade under Porter is wavering? Says they're flanked and under a bombardment, but they don't seem to be losing too many casualties. Taking too many casualties. Who's firing on their flank? Burnside's brigade's not flanked. Flanked from where, sir? From where? All right, move Timothy Andrews Brigade forward to support. 4th Brigade, it's their first fight, but they seem to be doing okay. Jackson's brigade is strong, but they're taking some casualties. Yeah, we need to move some of these troops forward. So, by the looks of it, Andrew Porter may get driven back. His troops are still hanging out here. I've ordered the 2nd Brigade forward under Burnside, but they're taking their time moving. They're claiming they're outflanked, but I don't know where from. Sixth Brigade's taking its time to move forward. 4th Brigade is... well, Jackson's shooting at him, but he doesn't have a rifle. Or maybe Jackson's firing at the 6th, who say they're flanked. Man, I love the rippling broadsides. Or not broadsides, rippling volleys. Most of my artillery appears to be idle. Let's move these guns forward. It says they're firing. Doesn't say these guys are firing. Alright, Burnside's boys are in the action. They're fighting against detachments, so we really should throw some of our own skirmishers forward. Meanwhile, Thomas's brigade is under bombardment from enemy artillery. Our own artillery is firing back. You can see the smoke from both batteries. We're firing on someone. Doesn't tell me who. So this front line in this wooded terrain with this one division, we may fall back to this fence line. We get pushed too hard. 2 more fresh brigades are coming up. Enemy cavalry fell back. Okay. And how are the troops in the south doing? Looks like they've successfully taken the objective down here, and the Rebs are not hanging around. Well, maybe. But I'm thinking the rebel army in the south is mostly pulling back. Yeah, these guys. Jones... not too many casualties in Jones's unit. Ewell's brigade suffered a lot. But we're gonna try and keep pushing. Give me those rippling broadsides every day. Not broadsides. I keep saying broadsides. I've got naval combat on my mind. This is the most stand-up fighting I've seen in this game so far. Let's move Williams' brigade. It'll open up a gap on our second line, but I'm going to move Williams' brigade forward to flank Jackson. Meanwhile, Burnsides himself looks like he's about to get flanked. He hasn't lost a single man yet. He's firing volleys from high ground, but the enemy's moving some brigades around. Burnsides is pouring fire into the enemy that's engaged with Porter's brigade at extreme range. Come on, boys. Fire your guns. They're going to try and overlap your flank, so I'm going to bring artillery up to support Burnside's flank. These guys are exhausted? It says they're marching, but they're still limbered up. Or unlimbered, which I think is the issue. My artillery. Alright, so we're bringing this brigade forward onto Jackson's flank. I can't imagine Jackson will stand for much more than a volley or two. He's already lost over 600 men. And you never know. Jackson might stand like a stone wall. So it is Philip St. George Cook's brigade, which has unseated Jackson, I think. And Timothy Andrews' brigade has taken the most casualties, I think. Alright, so the enemy is moving up on Burnside's flank. They're not advancing yet, though. They got 3 seemingly fresh brigades there on my flank. Artillery's firing there now. Yeah, these guys are moving on foot. Jackson's been driven back. Over 700 casualties. Just took 2 volleys there. They've used two rounds of ammo in that unit. Alright, I want you guys to push forward. We're going to pull this brigade forward toward Rockbird Bridge's artillery. No more defensive for you boys. Burnside, who's he engaged with? Like, it looks like these guys are reloading. No, they're marching. Okay. Fire at these guys. There we go. This artillery battery is having a nice little artillery duel with some rebel guns out that way. And so that pressure that was building up on our flank just seems to have evaporated. Again, the AI had some advantages there in the north. They didn't really press home. Gave all the initiative to me. It's a little... The enemy's retreating. Okay. Oh wait, I'm paused. I'm so dumb. No wonder they weren't shooting. I sat there for like 15 minutes wondering why my troops weren't advancing. Thank God for editing. Alright, so some of my units actually used a reasonable amount of ammunition. My cavalry is charging these guys. Charge, boys! Run them down! Like Marshal Murat. What are they shooting at? There's no way they can run faster than me. Oh, we kind of switched into a trot. Pursue, boys. That's what the cavalry's job is. "26 casualties for Buford's brigade right there, the 3rd Cavalry. Moving in on Jones's brigade, which still is almost close to full strength. This is unwise, moving up through the woods. It's a good way to get a brigade killed. Nice little volley there from their mixed cavalry weapons, though. Wanted to give them the cold steel, but the order hasn't arrived. I don't know how you get troops to surrender. You'd think, like, some of the Rebs somewhere might surrender. We're pushing them back, lads. It's like DeRose's brigade didn't lose a casualty. 3,200 men the Rebs didn't even deploy. Jackson's brigade, on the other hand, lost 800 of 2,200 men. Greg's brigade also largely uncommitted here, now duking it out with Burnside's. But Burnside's is outnumbered. almost better than 3-1. Now he does have Springfields. I'm guessing the enemy doesn't. So we're going to try and bring Porter up to help. So yeah, some of my troops fired about maybe 1/6 of their ammo. The enemy is retreating. Burnside's going to get his brigade shot to pieces, but, you know. He's got a little bit of artillery support from the 2nd battery there. Half my army didn't even engage. Almost all of the Department of Pennsylvania lost 180 men. The 3rd Division lost 1 man. Runyon's division down here in the south was largely kept in reserve. It didn't even need them. Buford, on the other hand, is giving pretty good. Army of the Potomac in the south hasn't really lost many of their troops, actually. This brigade about 200. Give them the cold steel, lads. I don't know where the other Rebs down there went. Got away, I guess. Alright, so we broke Cooper's brigade. They lost about 1,000 of 2,100 men. And Burnside's is losing men, up to about 300 casualties. He's given worse than he's getting against Gregg here, but Gregg's a much larger brigade too. Come on, Porter, come up and support him. Leave it to Burnside's to take 3-1 odds all by himself in the open. If that isn't Ambrose Burnside, I don't know what is. All right, we're going to fast forward here. Burnside's brigade broke. But Gregg also suffered moderate casualties. And Porter's gonna push him off. So there you go. Your army's victorious. I wonder if Burnside's gonna be shamed. Meanwhile, we can see here the casualties in that Union victory. Only a minor victory. That feels more than minor. Rebs lost 250 of their 650 cavalry, so they had 400 survivors. They lost their entire artillery formation, 30 of 30. They lost 4,200 of their 17,000 infantry deployed. So they still got about 12,000 infantry left. All told, they still have about 13,000 of their 18,000 deployed. Meanwhile, we lost 1,600 men, 324 cavalry, almost all, I think, in Burnside's brigade. Or sorry, Buford's brigade. And then 1,300 infantry. A third of that was all in one brigade. And a huge portion of our force didn't even fight. But it's a victory nonetheless. So we'll move back to the main screen here. That's going to do it for this video, by the way. This is a long fight. That was a bit of a muck up on my part. Like, troops everywhere, a bit of a mess. But you can see the enemy lost almost 1% in their national morale. And our military experience rises by over 1%. All right, and with that being said, we won our first really kind of major battle. It was a bit of a cluster with armies on different sides of the map and sort of units really spread apart and just a bit of a mess. There was a point where it seemed like the Rebs might get the upper hand on me, but the AI just didn't press home hard enough. I don't know if we turned the aggression up, but maybe they would. But in any event, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. And until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you very much for watching, and I'm out.